Hi, and welcome to this flipped instructional session. I am Mrs. Fessel, and this is Middle School Earth Science Semester A. Today we're going to talk about Lesson 1.05, which is Mapping Earth's Physical Features. So this lesson goes with Lesson 1.04, which is also about mapping Earth's features. So together, these two lessons include the information you need to complete the TGA for this unit, the teacher graded assignment, which is lesson 1.08, Mapping Mystery Island. So after you've watched lesson 1.04 in this recording, lesson 1.05, you should be ready to come to the flipped follow-up for lesson 1.08, where together we will work through the graded assignment Mapping Mystery Island. As I said, you should watch this recording and hopefully the lesson 1.04 recording before you come to the flipped follow-up. So look for the flipped follow-up on your schedule. The flipped follow-up for this lesson will be the TGA for the unit, lesson 1.08. So today we're going to talk about topographic maps. Our goal is to be able to identify a topographic map as a representation of the Earth's surface, to define topography as the physical features of an area of a land, which includes mountains, valleys, plains, and bodies of water. And then we're going to do a lot of this in our flipped follow-up, but we're going to analyze topographic maps. Let's get started. So our first big question, our learning goal, is what is topography? So topography are the physical features of the land. So see if you can think of any physical features of the land. As you might have guessed, there's one pictured here, a mountain. Other examples would be valleys, plains, different oceans, all of these different features of the earth that occur naturally. So topographic maps contain information about land elevation, otherwise known as the land's height above sea level. So topographic maps are shown by contour lines. So contour lines are made kind of by doing a giant connect the dot. You connect the locations that are the same height above sea level. So if we look at this example over here, all the 10s would tell us that this area is 10 meters above sea level. All the 15s would tell us that this area is 15 meters above sea level. All of the 20s would tell us it's 20 meters and 25 meters. So from this, we would know this is a hill that is gradually going upwards towards this house from 10 to 15 to 20 to 25 meters, and the house is up here, it looks like at around 28 meters above sea level. So that's what those contour lines are telling us, that this house is on a hill. So now that we talked about contour lines, a contour interval is the distance between contour lines. So it's going to depend from map to map. If you look at this map, you might think at first, if you just look here, that the contour lines are 2,000 meters apart, but you need to count even the lines that aren't labeled. So here this one goes from 9,000, 10,000. So this unlabeled line here would be 11,000. Let me see if I can get my pen here. So again, right here we have 9,000, 10,000. The unlabeled line would be 11,000, 12,000. This unlabeled line would be 13,000 and 14,000. So this map has a contour interval of 1,000 meters because there are 1,000 meters between each contour line. So if you flipped this contour map sideways, this is what it would look like. It would look like this hill pictured right here. And we'll do some more practice with contour lines in the flipped follow-up. So here's an example that shows a mountain rising 40 feet above sea level. So it's kind of blurry here, but you can see that the shoreline here is marked 0. That's because the base of an island is going to be at sea level. And then this one goes up by 10s. The contour interval would be 0, 10, 20, 30, and then 40. Another important note about contour lines is that the closer together contour lines are, the steeper the land is. So if we look at this same island, which would be a steeper slope to hike? A to B or C to B? So it would be C to B because the contour lines are closer together. So that tells us that the mountain would be steeper there. If you look at it here, right here, this would be the hike that we just talked about, the steep hike, versus right here from A to B is a much gentler, less steep hike. So just a few more notes. If you think about a mountain, and look at this picture, it's smaller and steeper at the top than at the bottom. So the circles at the top of the map are going to get smaller to show, and possibly closer together depending on the mountain, to show that it is smaller and steeper at the top. So here's one more example of a topographic map. So this is of the famous volcano, Mount St. Helens, located in the Cascade Range in Washington State. So you can see here, if this is the aerial picture, you can see that it's steep here going up the side of the volcano, but right here the volcano's collapsed. So if we look at our topographic map, you can see here that the topographic lines are very far apart because that's where it's flat, versus the topographic lines are close together through here because it's steep. And if we're thinking about the contour interval, this map's contour interval is 500 meters because, again, you have to even count the lines that aren't labeled. So we have 4,000, 4,500, 5,000, 5,500, 6,000, etc. So this map has a contour interval of 500 meters between each contour line. So the last thing we're going to talk about is how maps can be used for planning. So this is a map, and it's a map of a mountain again. And this is asking where you would expect to find a lake. We have A, B, and C. So most likely the water is going to flow downhill, and water flows down hills quickly. So if you look at B, it's really steep here. So I think we can decide that it wouldn't be at B. A would definitely be a possibility because it looks like as the water would flow downwards here, it looks like it flattens out right here, and this might be a place where a lake could form. It could possibly form at C, but C is probably the top of a mountain, which is usually, as we talked about, smaller and steep, so it would probably not be at C. All right, so that was a good introduction to topography lines. So again, the flipped follow-up for this lesson is going to be the graded assignment, lesson 1.08. So look for the flipped follow-up in your Class Connect schedule. Attend this live session to carry this into further practice. And if you need any help, please attend the Help Lab sessions for extra support. And as always, I hope you have fun learning. Have a great day. Bye.